Hey everybody, this is Steve at Brass Horse Studio, and I'm making this video about the discrepancy that people are wondering about between the amount they were able to borrow being based on months, but the amount they're able to have forgiven being based on weeks for the Paycheck Protection Program. So people have said, you know, am I forgiven for 2.5 times my average monthly, or am I forgiven for 8 weeks of average monthly salary? And this applies a lot to people who are self-employed and others. So I'm going to try to answer that question for you. I'm going to try to do it in just a few minutes. So let's roll the intro and start that clock. All right, so hey, if you find this information helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It always helps YouTube find this video and propagate it out to other people who are having this problem. So here's the problem. When you applied for the Paycheck Protection Program, especially if you used your Schedule C, you took that line 31 net income and you divided it by 12 for average monthly, and then you multiplied it by 2.5 up to 2.5. That it was your maximum allowable loan amount. But you've been maybe hearing people say that you get to consider 8 weeks of that for payroll. And the fact of the matter is both of those things are true. As it turns out, both those things are true. So the Treasury released guidance, and they released this guidance on April the 20th, and I'll put the link to this document right down below in the description, that clearly indicates that this was the case. You were allowed to apply for 2.5 times your average monthly income. And that 2 part, the 2 of 2.5 times, the 2 was for payroll, and the 0.5 was for other things like mortgage interest, rent, utilities, things like that. So let's talk about the payroll part, because the utilities are a little more clear, and I've featured those in some other videos. Well, the payroll part, what can you have forgiven? And this document makes that very, very clear. You can have 8 weeks forgiven. And that's a very interesting discrepancy. It's a little smaller than 2 times your average monthly. So you have 8 weeks to spend the money from the time that you get it from your lender. And that's what this ruling is based on. You have 8 weeks to spend the money, and so they're giving you 8 weeks worth of payroll. So what you have to do is take that number that you based your application on, your average monthly payroll, you need to get that out to 52 weeks. So if you use line 31 of your Schedule C, you're just going to take that number, line 31 of your Schedule C, divide it by 52, that's for weekly, and multiply that by 8. You're going to find that 8 weeks is 7.7% smaller than 2 months worth. So you're actually going to be eligible for forgiveness for an amount that is 7.7% smaller than the amount that you used for your payroll calculation. The utilities are based on actual numbers, actual amounts that you're going to pay in utilities and mortgage interest and rent. And so that's going to be kind of a hard amount you're going to show receipts for and you're going to show payments for. But for payroll, the maximum amount is going to be 8 weeks worth. Okay, so both of those conditions have been true. They allowed you 2 months worth. They're going to forgive 8 weeks worth, and that is a difference of about 7.7%. Again, the link to that is this document. This is the Federal Register. This was the ruling on April 20th. I'm going to put the link straight down below, and you can find this information on page 4 of this document, first column, down about letter F. What amounts shall be eligible for forgiveness? Okay, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please consider liking and subscribing. And if there are other things that you would like some short form videos on like this in under a few minutes, please post those down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about them, okay? All right, I'm a business professor and a small business owner, so I'm kind of consumed by these things as well. And I love using this channel to help small business owners, and it also helps me learn a lot too. So always a great connection between what happens in the classroom, what happens in the real world. That's what I love to do. All right, so thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you maybe in another video.